Okay, we're live, hopefully.
Yeah,
Can
we are.
somebody check in? Yeah, we are? Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Goal Line Gossip. We have a packed show for you today. A lot of new faces and old faces. So it's good to be back. But first, what I'll do is I'll introduce everybody. We have a new panel. So I'll start with Sharnik. Sharnik is a new panelist. So welcome, Sharnik. Before we start, would you like to tell us a little bit about you?
Yes, obviously. I support Chelsea from 2008. So the first, to be very honest, the first match that I like when I really started to like Chelsea is when Frank Lampard scored that free kick against Napoli in Champions League. Okay, so I still remember that it was. I haven't watched the live at that point of time because I didn't know much about Premier League and football in general. So I was just scrolling through my TV, and then I just happened to land on Chelsea versus Napoli, and I was very curious, like how Chelsea was playing, and then Frank Lampard scored a screamer, and that was an highlight which I was watching. After that, I went on and started to watch each and every match of Chelsea. Okay, the way they played. I mean, Frank Lampard. My hero is personally Frank Lampard. After that, I went on to love Eden Hazard. I mean, he absolutely brought a havoc in Premier League. So that's how I started supporting Chelsea.
Awesome.
Nice, nice. That's great. Yeah, great to have you here. We'll move on to Savio. Savio, over to you, man. I hear you're a City fan. Tell us about you.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I support Manchester City. So I want to start with that. I started supporting Manchester
Why
City
why are you
way
wearing
before
red,
the.
bro? Like this is the first time I'm meeting you and I'm a United fan, so I'm just like curious. Like for the first stream you're
so,
wearing red and you're saying City. Anyway, sorry
so
to
it's
cut
a
you. Keep
normal,
on.
yeah, it's a normal T-shirt, not a jersey. So the thing is that I started supporting Manchester City like from 2007 before the takeover. So I'm not one of those glory hunters. So yeah, so the thing is, for me, the support thing came from like I am a, football fan from the from the very beginning, like World Cups and all. So I started watching Premier League from 2007, and my first match was the match that I saw was Manchester City match. So somehow I feel like that underdog thing character in Manchester City that
Who
time.
was your favorite player?
So
Stephen Ireland.
no, my favorite that time when I started watching Manchester City, that time we had Giorgio Samara, so I liked that player. He was a striker. So, but at the end of the day, I Sergio Aguero that 2012 season. So yeah, from that is my story. Like how I started watching. It's not because of the football I started supporting Manchester City because my first match of EPL I watched Manchester City and from the very first beginning, I fell in love with them.
Right.
So, Sharnik, I'm curious to know, do you share a good relationship with Savio? Because Frank Lampard, your hero, moved to City.
Oh, that was just
Yeah,
for
yeah.
dream.
I mean, that was a just
You have to see.
tactical move by, I think, Mourinho was the manager at that point of time when Frank Lampard moved to Manchester City. I mean,
So,
that was
so
a
would you
tactical move
consider?
to
So,
stop.
would you consider wearing a City shirt someday?
What?
No, not at all. Not at all. Why would I wear?
But
Why
your
would I
hero
wear a
did, right?
City
You
shirt to?
idolize him. So,
Bro,
why would you not
bro,
consider?
That
your
was his
player has
profession. That
Bonska,
was his
you need to
profession.
start it. Your player has played for City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and now Arsenal. Are you going to be wearing a Raheem Sterling Arsenal jersey? I don't think so. So
I don't think any Liverpool player has ever worn the Arsenal jersey. To be honest.
Raheem Sterling.
Oh my God! We okay. Well, I'm not the biggest fan of Sterling, so
Of course
doesn't
you're
really
not.
matter.
You're
Yeah.
sipping water.
Initially,
Okay, guys,
it,
No, Raheem
we'll
Sterling
move
was
on.
terrific for Liverpool, I believe.
Yeah, he
no, he
was.
was terrific for City as well, but
Yes.
he's a snake. What we can say more than that?
He was terrible for Chelsea, and hopefully he'll be terrible for Arsenal
Yeah.
as well. But we'll move on. We'll move on. So
Yeah,
yeah, great to have you, Savio and Charnik, to the club. Really love the enthusiasm and the fact that you guys have your own clubs and you're here to talk about it. We like that, and thank you so much for joining. Moving on, we have the Bong Scouser, of course, a familiar face, slotting into this panel. Should have been more smooth. But Liverpool, I think, great start to the season, except for one disappointing game against, I think it was Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest.
You've scored in every match. You almost had a clean sheet before that match. So for the new manager, I guess like can't be any better than that. Starting a new season. We will talk about Liverpool, so we'll go to you then. Cheshmeister feeling really great in the new season. Almost nicked a victory against City, and City dropped points today. So which means since Leandro Trossard scored in the final minutes, I think you guys are like both of you have 16 points, right? City
No,
and
14,
Arsenal.
14, 14 points.
14? Okay, but same points, right? So that might be a relief coming from last weekend when they scored in the final minute. So you must be pumped. So we'll talk about Arsenal as well.
The match ended 4-2.
Yeah, right. But we will start with City, and we will start with Newcastle. As you can see, I'm wearing the Newcastle colors just for fun. Points dropped by City. I think, and this is just me, but I feel anybody who watches the Premier League and is not a City fan is sick of City winning every Premier League. What is it going to be like the fifth time, sixth time? It's just going to go on and on forever, right?
Where's the banner?
The banner is going to come here. So we will talk about the match City versus Newcastle, but I think we'll spend a chunk of the conversation based on what are City's chances this season, because their main man, Rodri is missing. He's been injured since the Arsenal match, and it kind of seems like an injury which is going to last for 9 months or the entire season. So what I'll do is I'll pass it on to you know what? I'm going to start with iTunes Mag, because I think although it was a draw, but I don't know, just drawing against City sometimes feels like a victory. So I am celebrating it. I don't know how you feel, iTunes Mag. So over to you. Tell me.
Players. It's in Newcastle right now. They don't have a lot of important players. So obviously, it's a good result.
Yeah, we'll hear from iTunes Mag.
Yeah, after the disappointing performance against Fulham, I was expecting a 3-0 or 4-0 thrashing from Man City, actually, to be honest. But the way players performed today, it was phenomenal. It's a monumental task. And if you look at the stats in the second half, I think City got only two clear-cut chances, not more than that. They have attacked a lot, but finally, they haven't delivered. Our defense line was properly in shape, and though I've always been, discussing about Eddie Howe. I'm very critical about his, tactics. But today, he was like razor sharp. I've been looking into the formation and the placing of the players, the midfield trio, Tonali, Joelinton, and Bruno. They actually, manhandled the Man City midfield. They've been, taking their ball, snatching from them, and unlike other matches, we have never overcome it. We have never, overpraised. We just waited. We only praised when they made the mistake. So it proves a point that without a defensive midfield, overpressing it sometimes can be costly. So that we have seen in the last season. And in the first 5 matches, including the Carabao Cup matches against Nottingham Forest, so I think today we showed a really good display, and we got really good chances in the second half. One penalty, Joelinton, got the ball. If the touch was good, it could have been a goal. We got a few good cross from Jacob Murphy and the Ashley Barnes as well. So I think overall it's a great performance, I would say. When we are talking about City is like probably the second best team in the world right now after Real Madrid. For me, yes. So when we are playing against City, you have to be, top of your game. You have to be give your 200% to get even a point. I'm not talking about the winning. So that's that. So I was expecting a 3-0 defeat. From that draw, it's a massive 1 point for me.
Right. Yeah, and it's rare that City drop points, right? I mean, I know they dropped points last week as well against Arsenal, but that was almost like they were losing and they had to score to almost get a point, right? Rather than losing two. So two draws in a row. Savio, what's your take on, first of all, today's match, if you can tell us a little bit about that, but also like from an overall point of view, now that Rodri is gone, do you think that's going to actually bother Manchester City and Pep Guardiola going into the season because
Yeah.
Arsenal are
Hmm.
biting down your neck? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, for today's match, I think Manchester City is not performed bad. They should have finished the game by first half because in the first half Gundogan got two chances, so he wasted that. So it's football. Sometimes that happens. So today's performance was not that top like Manchester City performance, but it was not bad. I can say it was good. We could have won the match, but it's okay, 1-1. And I will not take away anything from Newcastle because Newcastle in terms of pressing they were fantastic. Their pressing was on top today. So for this match, I can say yeah, it's football. Draw can happen. And now Rodri's injury is a very big concern for us. I think because he is the only center defensive midfielder whom you can't replace in the world. It's not possible. There is no one who can play in his position like he plays. But in the same way, I believe in Pep Guardiola. I think he will do something because he is the only manager I think in the Premier League who won the Premier League without a proper left back, who won the Premier League without a number nine. So if Manchester City can win, it will be only because of him. And for that he needs to no he needs to think. He needs some time. So I think these point drops will continue for some of the matches. But again, when the December or January comes, Manchester City, I think again they will become the machine like they do in every year.
Savio, if you were Guardiola right now, so what would be your solution to this problem?
John Stones.
My surely like I think that whatever I understand right now is like we have to drop Kyle Walker right now immediately. Just play Rico Ruiz or John Stones in the defense, who will come in the midfield and will give support to Kovacic as a CDM. That is only solution. Like I think now possible.
So do
And
you
one
miss
thing,
Calvin Phillips now? Do
No,
you
they have
miss
Matthew
Calvin
no.
Phillips?
Nunes. No, they have Matthew Nunes is a better player than Calvin Phillips.
Calvin, we don't miss Calvin because Calvin Phillips, I don't know what happened to him after he came to Manchester City, but before that he was a decent CDM. I don't know what happened to him, but I think people forget like Gundogan actually won a Premier League while he was playing as a CDM for Manchester City for 1 year. So I think Pep will go for Gundogan to play as a CDM in future
Was
if
Stadium or was it
doesn't
Austin
find
Barnes?
any.
Once I think he will play as a CDM once Kevin De Bruyne comes back, right? Because
Yep, yep, I think so.
because Rodri was not with City at the start of the season, and even after that, Manchester City was winning, right? So I think
Yep.
once Kevin De Bruyne comes back, then Manchester City will be again without Rodri. Obviously, will be at the top only.
But I'm curious to know, but why is John Stones not favored these days? Because I've seen from last season, I think last season he had only about like 18 to 20 starts in the Premier League, and even this season he seems to be out of favor. So
He's
can
slow, I believe. Slow
reason why?
pace.
No, it's one is the fitness issue, and second is like Akanji is performing on top. No, how can you say say Akanji to go to bench, and Ruben Diaz is going to start obviously. So I think that is why Stones is not getting his chances. But the situation currently, what we are having in the team, I think Stones should start, and Akanji can play as a right back as well.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. And Stones is very good head. I mean, in either boxes, I think he's, according to me, he's probably your best defender. That's just
Yeah,
me, probably. But I think he's a fantastic defender as
There
well
is
Stones
as
he's
one
is
very
point.
technical.
not Stones
as
is
a
not
very
Uh,
better
the,
than Stones is not better than Akanji or Ruben Diaz, right?
he is
No,
in my opinion.
Stones technically Stones is the best there as a defender. He's technically best, but the problem is Stones has a issue of injuries from very beginning. So that might be a issue. Like he can't play 3 days every 3 days. I think.
Yeah, but
there is
I
one question I'd like to. Oh, go
maybe Guardiola doesn't want to build a team around him, so that's fair enough. Yeah.
Maybe.
So there was one question I was about to ask Savio. So I was expecting that anyone between Doku and Savio would start because there's a eminent
Yeah.
that we our side backs, they are not very much pacey and they always struggle against a pacey dribbler. So the moment I saw the team formation of Man City, I saw that Grealish and that said Bernardo Silva. I was quite happy getting to know that they are not the person who will get behind the team. You know, I mean, Grealish tried, but
Right.
Trippier stopped him from a couple of times. So what he started doing, he started to cut inside. So that's where
Right.
that's I think the supply stopped to Haaland. And another point is when Kovacic came, Kovacic was last match he was pretty good once he came, but
Right.
today I saw Kovacic was something not very much having that working rate as per City standard. So is it
I
something
think they
wrong
Mhm.
with the team formation? Or they're just resting the players.
This is a very good question because I was also surprised when I saw like Bernardo Silva is playing at the right wing. No doubt, Bernardo Silva is a world class player. I love him. I love him till my last breath. But the problem with Bernardo Silva, he's not a player. If you are doing counter, okay, he is a player who will control the pace of the game. So Savino has to start every game at the right wing because he is a player who can change game from the very beginning when he started playing for Manchester City. So I don't know why he went for Bernardo Silva as a right winger. Maybe he did that because he want to employ Rico Luis at the midfield. That may be the reason. But I what I feel like there are maybe two reasons. One is like Pep overthink again for this match, or second is like that Pep did not take Newcastle as a challenge with no disrespect. I think so because and it's actually caused us. They should, you know, they know that we dropped point last match. So I don't know why Sabino did not start. It's also a question for me.
Yeah, yeah. We'll slowly start to move away from this topic because we have so much to cover today. But before I wrap this section up, I wanted to ask unanimously from you guys. So, do you guys like just maybe a short a sentence or two? Do you think Rodri's condition is actually going to have an effect, or do you think, like what Savio said, as a pattern, they don't start well generally, Pep Guardiola, but they, as Christmas comes, as they go, deeper into the schedule, they sort of start to collect points and get on top, become more consistent. I'll start with Jishmeister. Your thoughts? Do you think this is going to actually persist, or they're going to find a solution pretty soon?
Could you please repeat the question again? I'm really sorry. I was not paying attention.
No, I'm just saying, like, with Rodri's condition. So the same thing, just taking like a final opinion. Do you think that's going to have an effect on their season, or they're going to somehow manage with some of the players and figure it out?
Personally, I would say if you look at Sir Alex Ferguson's United and compare it to the Manchester City of Pep Guardiola, I would say Pep Guardiola is the better mastermind. If you look at the average points with what Sir Alex Ferguson won the league titles, they were anywhere between 75 to 85. They hovered around those point marks. Pep Guardiola's brought it up to a different level, and I've seen him cope with absences, notable absences, with De Bruyne not being there all season long, Rodri, missing for a few games in a crucial time. He came up with John Stones playing that defensive role. Uh, he went from inverted left back or inverted right back to inverted center back. So it's that guy. I, I just don't trust him to not win the league till he does not win the league, right? Um, so in my opinion, they will cope. They will come up with some solutions. But is the gap bridging ever so much every season between Arsenal and City? I believe so because their squad, their better players are aging, and our better players are, getting towards the right age. So, in my opinion, the gap is bridging, and we got to capitalize now or never. But City will probably cope up, and I still think that they are the favorites because we don't have a forward. I'll talk about Arsenal specifically later on, but I still feel like City will cope, and they're still the favorites to win the Premier League season.
You know what? Let's move on to Arsenal. Since you're already speaking with us, let's talk about Arsenal. I mean, of course, the Rodri injury is there. Thanks for the assist. But let's talk about previous match and you dropped 2 points, but then today you actually scored in
Mhm.
the final moments and you actually got 2 points out of it. So does it feel like somehow you've recovered the points that you lost last weekend with City drawing and you winning in the end of the match?
Mhm. Can I touch upon the City game once quickly?
Of course,
Yeah, okay.
you did us all a favor in that match. Got rid of the
Well,
best player in the Premier League. So
see,
take all the time you want.
in our group chat, it was insinuated that this was intentional, by our regular panelist, the Kloppite. I was infuriated when I saw those messages. I was hella pissed, and I saw that why would anybody think that Mikel Arteta, who's been a sportsman all his life, that he would intentionally want to get another player injured? And if you actually look at the moment when he gets injured, there's absolutely nothing wrong. Two players going shoulder to shoulder inside the box, and he lands on his knee in a bad way, in a bad way, and he injures himself, right? So you can't really call him out for that. Now, I would never ever celebrate somebody getting injured. I mean, that's not me. I would.
But are you happy now that with Rodri gone, Declan Rice is the best CDM in the Premier
No,
League?
absolutely not. I don't
Does it
want.
make you feel good?
No, it does not make me feel good. If
Okay.
anything, it makes me feel pathetic. If I would have won the league as Liverpool did when the COVID season happened, when the home and away games meant nothing, I wouldn't probably be feeling the same amount of pride as a lot of Liverpool fans do. But that's just me. That's just me. I would not want Arsenal to win the title with Rodri gone. It will still feel like maybe just maybe we didn't beat the best version of that team. So anyway, what I was trying to say about the Manchester City game was um, we went through the tactical plan went so well. I have a feeling that we were robbed of a brilliant game, a brilliant second half, where we would have probably seen City score a goal or more. We wouldn't have sat back. Absolutely not. We would not be sitting back the way we were defending because we went down to 10 man in at the Etihad. We had to. But I think the referee robbed us of a terrible, an amazing potential game. I get it. According to the current rules, it is a red card the way it is, but the inconsistencies do hurt me. The way um, I've seen previous examples of Joao Pedro, the Declan Rice thing happened. He had done a similar thing in a throw-in, and I've seen Szoboszlai, in a previous game for Liverpool, he was not booked for that a similar action. But I was very proud of my team. I was so proud. I was about to jump up and down. And then in the last 30 seconds, just fell to the guy. It almost felt we were defending. If you've all watched the game, we had a ring around the D box, and then that last move when Grealish took the corner pretty fast, we were not around the D box. We were inside the last D. What do you call it? I don't know. Is it the penalty box? Yeah, yeah. We were around the penalty box instead of the D box, and that kind of ruined. They were allowed to get in the last moment. It hurt. It really hurt.
Right.
Either way,
Yeah, tell us a little bit about today's match because the guy who got the red card, it's good that it was not a straight red, so he didn't get a match ban. Today in extra time he scored and you got those 2 points back.
he
How
did
do you
not
feel
score.
about that?
Actually, it was recorded as an own goal by NDD.
Oh,
It's
really?
own goal.
Okay.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
he
it
did.
touched his knee.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
touched his knee.
He got credited for the assist. Trossard in our team, I think I've said this in previous recordings as well. He's our best finisher in the team. Absolutely no doubts, not a shred of doubt in my mind that he's the best finisher in our club. And that's actually speaks volumes about our recruitment, not going well this year. After this, recruitment that we had last year, I don't think Calafiori looks like an amazing player. I
Yeah,
think
Liverpool have scored.
who scored?
Can you believe it? Ibrahima Konate. This guy has scored
Konate
two
scored. I
goals in the
got
last
Konate
three
in my
games.
FPL team.
And in his career, probably he has scored, he has scored not more than 2 goals. So
I mean,
something is definitely going right.
okay. Anyhow, as I was saying, that it is extremely sad that Trossard happens to be our best finisher. It shouldn't be that way, right? After the Declan Rice signing last season, I expected to.
I mean, you signed Gabriel Jesus, so you
I
need a
know,
striker.
and that has not gone. That has not aged well because he got injured. He got the ACL, right? And since the ACL, he hasn't looked good. Since the ACL injury, before the ACL injury, he was so impactful. Maybe he's never going to be a Haaland or a magnanimous goal scorer like Callum Wilson, right? In my eyes, but
So we had no. We had always a fight or a challenge between who's better, is Jesus or Callum Wilson.
I always
And
preferred Callum Wilson in his prime.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, any day.
yeah, now he's probably an aged guy, but at least even a season ago, he was still banging goals. His goals to minutes ratio was brilliant. Anyway, as I was saying, we don't have a forward who can score goals, and that is unfortunate. And that'll be the end of our season. I'm telling you right now, I'm not impressed. I think we're papering over the cracks. The 14 points is papering over the cracks. Buying a player like
No,
California,
somehow I think Arteta prefers Havertz more than any striker right now.
of course,
I
that's
feel that. I don't know. Yeah,
he is
I
the
don't know
see,
starting.
why.
playing Havertz gives a added advantage. I mean, he can go wing, he can play as an attacking midfielder, he can play as a false nine. So that's a good point about Havertz. I mean, Havertz not only
Tactically, he's
always
adept
scores,
to handle
yeah, he
situations.
does
That's
not
correct.
always scores, but he's a man who can complement other things with work rate. He has a
Yes.
tremendous work
And
rate.
I
That's
think
why.
every
That's why.
every team has a Havertz. Like you have Bruno Fernandes in United, you have Bernardo Silva in
And Mason
City,
Mount.
and okay, we will talk about United soon.
Listen,
So
I listen, I wouldn't have complained. Havertz is a very intelligent player. I'll give you that. He
Yep.
has some lackings, but he's very intelligent. But you need scorers on the flank then. Somebody has to be
Right.
producing numbers. And we don't have Salah and Diaz and Sadio Mane's in our team. So that's what's bothering me. I feel like buying Calafiori in a fully stacked defense of Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Ben White, Julian Timber, Zinchenko, Saliba, Jakub Kiwior, a starter for Poland's national team, does not make sense to add another player.
I
why
think I
why
think the
didn't
reason,
you guys
Vishnu,
why didn't
the
you guys
reason for
buy
that,
Ivan
I believe.
Tony?
Sorry.
Yes, sorry, 1 minute. Sorry. So the reason for that, I believe, is that they were thinking that Partey would leave, and they were also considering selling Kiwi or to Juventus. Okay, so they wanted to get these two deals over the line, but somehow they didn't materialize. And Calafiori is a guy who is a very good passer of the ball. I mean, he's a central defender, but then he can play left back, he can play CDM. He's basically tactically very flexible. So I think that is why probably they were looking at
But
him.
when you look at your limited budget and FFP rules, wouldn't you say in this team an Ivan Tony is a better recruitment or purchase than a Calafiori in this season?
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so for the reason being that see what City are facing without Rodri. They do not have another CDM, right? And CDM is
So we have
probably a more
Declan Rice, we have
important
Partey, we have
position.
Jorginho. We have three players. What more do you need?
Jorginho is not a CDM man.
Jorginho,
He would say he can be a
no, no,
makeshift
Jorginho,
CDM.
Jorginho is a
Jorginho is a
CDM,
CDM.
but
I think he can be a
but
CDM.
he's not that much reliable, I would say.
He's not a
For
physical
me,
CDM.
for me, he's a deep lying playmaker, but
And
he doesn't
that's
fit the
also,
profile of a CDM.
but then Declan Rice can play that role. How many players do you need in that position? But we don't have
No,
a
Jish, I
forward.
think
Just
when
lose Declan
when
Rice, you will know the answer. If you didn't have Thomas Partey, just be happy to lose Declan Rice, then you will know.
But
No,
who's
No,
playing Arsenal next? Just give him a call.
Yeah.
Get Declan Rice out.
what do you mean? I don't get.
No, I'm just saying, like, since
Either
Declan.
way, this is just my opinion. Listen, I'm gonna make it short from my end, and I'm gonna just let you guys carry on.
No, before
Uh,
before you say that, I want you to be specific. Like, so last year you spent 100 billion on Declan Rice, right? And you bought other players as well. But this season, why didn't you go out there and buy a striker like someone like Ivan Toney, who was just waiting to be bought by somebody, right? You could have paid that 100 million or whatever.
I, I, I
Maybe
bet
Ivan
there.
Toney was
I
available
bet.
for only 42 million.
What?
I under
Only
I
42
under the
million
code
for
bet
he was
that they
available.
don't want forward who's going to go some shady betting or something. I bet they are
but
not going
there's
to.
other players out there. We could have bought other players. Listen,
Do you not have money?
Saul, the answer is very simple. Mikel Arteta is an extremely adamant human being, and you can tell that by today's game as well. Ethan Nwaneri, he may be 17-year-old, but he's the second best number 10 that we have in this team after
Yes.
Martin
Agreed.
Odegaard. And you saw that as soon as he came on the pitch, the game changed.
Yeah. Brilliant player. Brilliant player.
And the fact that he's not starting him when you've already fucking sold, Emil Smith Rowe, and you've let Fabio Vieira go on loan, it does not make sense that you're not going to start Ethan Nwaneri in the number 10 position without your number 10, which is Martin Odegaard. You don't play Trossard in that. Trossard is a goal scorer, poacher, left wing, and he's a winger, scoring winger. You don't play him in the number 10 role. He's not going to be able to control. He's not metronomic in any sense of the footballing game. So that's Arteta being adamant. Same thing whether the last season, first half of the season, he played Kai Havertz at number 8, and then he realized his mistake and he fixed himself. If he would have
So
fixed
you're saying it's not a monetary issue or something like that,
it's
FFP or
Arteta.
whatever. They didn't
It's
want
It's
to.
all
Arteta.
about. I also believe it's all
No,
about Arteta. I mean, he's tactically very wonderful, and he knows what he's doing. And he prefers
Yeah.
Kai Havertz as the false striker.
I know, but
False nine.
Sharnik, last season, if Arteta, you can agree with me that he fixed the Kai Havertz number 8 experiment in the second half of the season, right? And we won so many games. The only game we lost in the second half was against Aston Villa. Guess what? Who played number 8? Kai Havertz. And before that, we dropped points with Kai Havertz playing the central midfield. He's not meant to play central midfield, box to box role.
Yeah.
And if you would have fixed that error last season, we would be winning the title last season. Absolutely 100%. We would not be
Okay.
dropping points at West Ham and Fulham and all those games that we dropped points at. Anyway, that's me. I just feel like Mikel Arteta is extremely adamant. He has to be proven wrong. He has to burn his hand before believing that fire is bad for him.
Cool.
Jish, there is one.
Okay, but
Jish, there is one.
I have one question.
Sure.
I have one question. If you so if this is not Arsenal's year, suppose, okay, just consider it. Then will you prefer Arteta to stay?
Arteta
Uh,
needs to win a trophy. He needs to win a trophy
it's a
this
tricky
year.
question.
And
That is my question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll answer your question. So let's say we win the FA Cup, we come second in the Premier League and lose the title by 2 points. We play the semi-finals of Champions League. Unless there's a better manager like Ancelotti or Pep or Klopp or somebody
Yeah.
available. I was
Zidane.
actually about,
No,
I was actually about to say Unai Emery. But,
Jishnu, but you didn't answer this question. Could this be Arsenal years?
I don't think so.
Why do you have to be so pessimistic?
It
Anyways,
depends on
you're-
the
No.
January
He's
window. Depends on
jinxing. He's
January.
jinxing.
oh yeah, the Arsenal
No,
thing.
Jish,
Yeah, Arsenal.
I
fans.
certainly
Jish,
think this
please.
is Arsenal. I think Arsenal are going to win the league.
No, I think it
There
depends on
is
the January.
So there is one comment you just made that your wingers are not like Luis Diaz or Salah who can score goal. But for the last 2 seasons and even this season, your wingers, your attacking midfielders are scoring goals. Why you were saying they are not Mo Salah or
But no,
Luis
but
Diaz or Darwin Núñez?
Saka maybe produces numbers, but Gabriel Martinelli today he scored
Yeah.
an assist, but he's usually not. Trossard again
Yeah.
produces
Last season,
No,
I
Trossard
think-
got a hat trick
No.
of assist. I remember.
numbers. I know if Trossard starts regularly, then we have enough goals and assists on the wing, but he does not. Martinelli is
So your
Yeah,
wingers are
Martinelli is also
working
not that reliable, I
perfectly.
believe, because I think
No, Martinelli.
Martinelli today scored, right, and it's like after 20 games, Martinelli scored today.
No, for 14 games,
Yeah.
15 games.
Can we
14,
move on,
15
He,
games,
guys?
yeah.
he,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Enough
Let's
of
move on.
Arsenal,
let's
surely.
move on. I would love
I
to
will
talk about
actually have to
Arsenal
drop
more,
off
but
because I have a
we
medical
don't have
appointment.
time.
I will be actually leaving you guys. It was wonderful, catching up with you guys, and see you guys next week. Okay, bye.
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 So we'll be moving to the blue side of London. Let's talk about Chelsea. Horrible last season, even worse before
No,
that.
not horrible. Not
Uh,
horrible. I
I
would
mean,
say when
I'm saying
what they
horrible
have
based
started.
on no,
No,
no. I'm saying
it was horrible start to the season. Then it kicked it off.
Yes.
But first half of the
oh, hey,
season,
bro.
we were not that good unless and until we would have
One
that
player.
run in the last 5 or 6 games, we wouldn't have been in top six. To be very honest.
One player carried you to the Europe League. Not Europa, I mean Conference League. One player.
Conference.
Yeah, obviously.
One player
I
carried
mean,
you
I
to
mean,
con. I
no,
think
I mean,
United demoted
No,
Chelsea to
you can.
Conference League.
No,
Let's
you
just
can.
get the facts right.
Yes,
We won
yes,
the
yes,
FA Cup,
yes.
and
Correct.
that ruined because they beat us
yeah, yeah.
at Stamford Bridge, right? I think we were winning 3-2 and we lost 4-3 or something like that.
They were at
In
sixth
the
position. Newcastle was seventh. Manu was eighth. But since they own the FA Cup, they robbed Newcastle playing in Conference League and Chelsea playing in FA. I mean Europa. So
right.
Guys,
that's
I have an
that's
unpopular opinion, but I think the sole reason why Chelsea is playing so well right now is because of Pochettino. We saw that towards the end of last season that the team was starting to gel. Okay, and
Mm,
I think Enzo Maresca has really carried on from where Pochettino has left on. He has made minute changes in style, but I think the major credit needs to be given to Pochettino. And I am extremely. I mean, I am irritated by the fact that Chelsea have once again sacked a manager who was actually doing well.
Yeah, I
well,
And
was
I'm
also not in
Chelsea
favor. I
fans,
was
you need
also
to.
not in.
I'm just I'm just glad you said it's Pochettino and not Sancho. But go on.
No, I was also not in the favor of sacking Pochettino. Okay, I believe that he was actually he messed it up at the start of the season, and it's I mean acceptable because new team, new manager, so he had to be given some time to gel the entire squad. But towards the end of the season, as he manages to get points on the board, and actually Chelsea went on to an amazing run towards this starting from 2024. Chelsea have lost only 2 games. One was against Manchester City, and another was again one team. I just don't remember, but this is the fact that Chelsea have lost only 2 games, and the entire credit goes to Pochettino. But I don't know
Yes.
I don't know what the board is actually what the board was thinking. So maybe the style of play that Pochettino was having, the board did not approve of it. So they wanted to have a manager who is ready to dance on their words. But Pochettino was not like that. Pochettino would have gone against the board because he
But didn't
did
but
not
didn't
want to sell
Pochettino manage
Conor Gallagher.
to be at Tottenham for so many years under Daniel Levy? Daniel Levy is the same kind
Sorry.
of boss, right? I'm saying, didn't Pochettino manage to stay for so
Yeah,
many years at Tottenham under Daniel Levy? And Daniel Levy, I believe, is the same kind of person that you are talking about right now.
no, no. See, Daniel Levy's perspective was not like bringing in young players at a very low cost, like 12 million, 13 million, or 20 million, and then selling them out at a huge profit. So Pochettino was against this idea of this profitability issue. Okay,
Oh,
so
got it.
actually the board wanted him out because
I got it.
Pochettino's idea did not align with board's vision. Okay, so and Pochettino did not want to sell Conor Gallagher and Trevor Chalobah. Trevor Chalobah is
Right.
still in our squad. I don't know where is he. Okay, so yeah. So coming back to whether Chelsea will be back in top four or not, it's for me it's still early days. We haven't we have faced only
Surely.
one good team, that is Manchester City. That is the first game of the season, and to be very honest, I thought that yeah, we were going to lose, and we lost. But after the Man City game, we are absolutely brilliant, I would say. Our defense, to
Yeah.
be very honest, is very shaky, very shaky. I don't trust Levi Colville and that Wesley Fofana pair. Okay, we needed Trevor Chalobah there, but obviously the board do not want him. That's a different issue. So if and only if our defense starts playing well and giving results, and we if we don't leak in goals, then Chelsea will be in top four, because our attacking is very good, to be very honest. One of the best in the
Yeah.
league. I
Absolutely.
think I think
Absolutely.
our attack is better than Arsenal also. Arsenal and
Yeah.
Liverpool.
I agree. I agree.
Okay.
You
And
know,
I don't
you know,
understand.
it is very sad thing to say. Like it's not. I'm not talking about Sandika. I'm talking about the Chelsea's new board. They have spent about 1.5 billion, and then still don't have good defenders. It's very sad thing to say, and then
So
it is the problem.
I don't think, see, Savio, you'll need to give it time. Okay, see, they have
No,
Levi
no,
Colville, who's a very highly rated defender, English defender, and they also have Wesley Fofana, who I think was a brilliant at Leicester City. And having seen Chelsea's games, I feel that they are striking a partnership there. And the next phase of that is obviously going to be that they will mature. And I think you see with Gabriel and Saliba, right? It's not like that from day one they were like this, right? They were also conceding a lot of
no.
goals, but you
no,
see them
Yeah,
two
I
Sanjay,
years
understand.
down the line and
No, no,
they are
I
brilliant.
reason.
understand.
That is the
No, no, I understand what you are saying, but the thing is that I don't see the value to have 7, 8 wingers where you don't have good defenders in your team. I don't
no.
see
We
the
have
value here.
we have lot of defenders, but they are not they are not of top four quality, I would say. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, Levi Colville is a very good defender, but he needs a proper experienced center back beside him, okay, to really perform well and grow. Thiago Silva was Thiago Silva was there, but obviously he cannot play for lifelong. Okay, so
Is
what
there
I would
anyone
say
in
is
the
that,
is
and
there anyone in the market maybe that you can target? Do you think there's anyone who fits that kind of a role that you were talking about?
see, Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahim Konate won't leave Liverpool, right? So I would have, if they were available, I would have got one
Say
of them.
Konate.
Okay, but
Yeah, get Van Dijk or Konate. He's so
no,
interested to know who
no,
you're targeting. Just
no,
give them a fat ass
no,
salary and get it.
Konate is good, I believe. Konate is good, I believe.
Yeah,
Even
Konate
I
is
would have
good,
taken
definitely.
John
But
Stones in our team. Okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a
but
brilliant suggestion.
but
I
the
think John
main
Stones is great.
but the main game changer, no, this season, the main game changer for Chelsea, an unpopular opinion, is Moises Caicedo. In that CDM role till now, I wouldn't say, like, till now, he is one of he has done a brilliant job. Today also, Chelsea wouldn't have leaked two goals if it was not for Robert Sanchez. So now we are seeing that for the past 2 or 3 games, no, for the past 3 games we have kept clean sheet, and today also we would have kept clean sheet other if it was not for Robert Sanchez. So if Chelsea can bring their defense together, I believe Chelsea will finish in not only in top four but in top two.
Whoa,
Oh, tall
top
claim,
two.
huh?
So
Tall claim.
like City and Chelsea, or
Absolutely.
are we saying Arsenal and Chelsea? Top two.
Sorry,
City
tell me
and
one thing.
Chelsea, because I I want to make a bold claim here. I like, because obviously claiming something is free and it does not cost me anything. I believe that Chelsea will beat Arsenal in both of the games.
Both the games, okay.
Oh, again
Let's see.
another tall
Let's
claim.
see. Okay.
I don't think so. Anyway, let's move ahead.
Tell
Yeah.
me one thing. Tell me one thing. What is the situation with Kunku in your team? So he was terrific in the season he played in Bundesliga, He was injured last season, yes, but since then he's been coming into 17th minute, 75th minute, 79th minute, 81 minute. But you keep on playing Enzo Fernandez. Why don't you go back to the 4-3-3 formation with Sancho, Kunku, and Kaiser? I
When
mean,
you have
you've been
No,
keeping him.
a squad where there are 50 players, I think it is in their
yeah.
contract
One,
Going
who's
to
going to
50.
play.
Yeah.
So Wednesday is Sancho, Tuesday it's Nkunku, next month Thursday it's somebody else. You have to make everybody play, otherwise it's gonna be.
No, Enzo
Anyway,
Maresca
sorry.
has no, Enzo Maresca has clearly in his what I like about Enzo Maresca is he talks clearly. So in his press conference, he has clearly said that we have different teams for different tournaments. So for Premier League, it will always be Nicolas Jackson starting. Okay, so and in the Conference League and in League Cup, it will be Nkunku starting, and again in the FA Cup, it will be Nicolas Jackson starting. So Nicolas Jackson is clearly the first choice above Nkunku right now, because I don't think Nkunku has that ball holding capability that Nicolas Jackson has, and with the ball, Nicolas Jackson is very good. Just he needs to work on his finishing, and if that happens, then Nicolas Jackson will be a very good striker. So I think
Jackson.
what plans we have now is perfect. Let's just not break it. We are on a
You
good
know,
run. We are on a good run. Let's keep on going.
Yeah.
two
Right, fair enough.
That's a two different
Let's
position.
move ahead.
Jackson is
Sorry.
a striker. Jackson is a striker, but Kunku come as an attacking midfielder, maybe a central midfielder. They don't share the same position. I mean, you can
No,
play him as a
we bought and see
false nine.
if you see Pochettino, no, he did not play against under Pochettino. So we brought Nkunku to play as a striker only, actually, not as a attacking midfielder or any sideways wing role. So we brought Nkunku as a striker only, but now since we have Nicolas Jackson who is performing really well, so he is obviously preferred over Nkunku. And I like Nkunku, to be very honest, but at this point, Nicolas Jackson is only my first choice.
Right, fair enough. Okay, so we'll move to uh, Liverpool now. Let's talk about Liverpool. Uh, I don't know what to say. Really good start to the season with a new manager. I think there were a lot of speculations that with Klopp gone, new manager, how is it going to be? Will Salah stay? Who's going to score the goals? What happens if Zubomendi doesn't join? There were a lot of speculations in terms of Liverpool dropping points, but eventually, I think you guys have had a really good start. Like before the Nottingham Forest game, you won on matches, didn't concede a single goal. So it's been like really good. And you faced Manchester United at Old Trafford as well. So let's talk about Slot in terms of what he's trying to do, maybe a little bit on how he's different than Jurgen Klopp. And
Well, Salah just missed a open goal.
that's okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're still winning, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, Bong
Very
Scouser,
close.
over to you. Do you think Slot is better than Jurgen Klopp or better than Pep Guardiola? Sorry, I'm just
Definitely not better. I mean, who are we comparing with, right? He is one of the legends in this game. I think Jurgen Klopp surely
Are
has
we
to
talking
be
about Pep or Jurgen Klopp?
Klopp. I'm talking
Oh,
about Klopp.
okay.
So Klopp is definitely among the top 10 managers of all times. Okay, according to me at least. And I think his slot definitely is not better. But
Top
I
50
think
managers. He's there.
every manager. Okay, yeah. Sorry, you're saying
I'm just
something?
saying, like, Slot must be in the top 50 best managers in the world.
Come on.
100?
So 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 the thing is, okay, let's I'd prefer to shrug off that question, but yeah, moving ahead, I think so so I think we have the if you talk about Jurgen Klopp, for example, I think every manager, no matter how good he is, had his own limitations, and I believe that Jurgen Klopp, he could wound some magic but definitely he had his limitations tactically. He had a defined system. Even when that system wasn't working, he wasn't flexible enough to change that particular system. And for that reason, I would say we suffered many a times in the previous seasons. And that's not to say he's not a great manager. He is a brilliant manager, but he had different strengths. But tactically, he was not among the best. At least that's in the opinion of majority of Liverpool fans. And so Arne Slot has come in right now, and tactically he has actually taken up a lot of great things that Liverpool are doing now. I think Jurgen Klopp had a system of high pressing. Slot also has carried that legacy, but if you see Slot's way of operating, it's more of a refined way of pressing. It's mostly zonal pressing. Players don't go all out and press all over the field like they used to do over in Klopp's era, and that helps them to conserve their energy, which is crucial if you are competing on all fronts. So I think in that context, Slot, I think, understands the demands much better. Also, I think when you talk about the attacking changes that Slot has made, I think Liverpool look far more incisive in the final third. Okay, uh, there is very little defensive responsibilities given to attacking players. So they are having to focus much more on attack, and that is why you see such great attacking numbers from Liverpool. Defensively as well, we don't play such a high line. I think that we used to play under Jurgen Klopp. We play a more pragmatic form of defending, and that is why you see so our defensive numbers have already, they are at the top right now. I mean, if I look at the Premier League charts, we have the best underlying numbers for defense. So we are doing well on all fronts. Yes, that Nottingham Forest game was disappointing. The result was disappointing, but I would point that out as an anomaly because Liverpool created a lot of chances. It's just that it wasn't their day. They couldn't finish off the chances. But if you see the same kind of opposition that we are up against, Wolves, you see Liverpool clearly have more ideas than they had against Nottingham Forest. So I'd just like to say that Slot is a better analyzer of the football game than Klopp. But yes, I do have my reservations as to how Liverpool will deal with adversity, because that will be a very major challenge for someone like Arne Slot. When Liverpool are losing 1-0, 2-0, how do they respond to those games? Okay, how does Liverpool respond when we lose one of our major players? Those are the kind of things that we have to see, and that will make Slot a manager that can be compared with Jurgen Klopp. Right now, he isn't.
Yeah, on that note, I just
Yeah.
have one question here. Like, I'm not sure. Has Liverpool played any of the top six teams as
I
of
mean,
Yep,
now?
if
we have
you
we
if
have
you
we have played
consider
Manchester
United to be
United.
top, yeah.
Oh yes,
We
Manchester
have played
United.
Although
Manchester
we are
United,
not
but
top
but
six
I
anymore,
but I get your point. We will be facing tougher
Hmm.
opposition. But just looking at the underlying numbers, we feel that we are very confident that we can put up a good show against them.
Yeah, Liverpool
But
is
I
playing
think it's
really well. I
very
mean,
too early.
it's like Klopp
It's
never left. It's like looking like Klopp never left.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think
That's
it's
a
way
great
too
compliment.
early
That's a
to
really great
compare.
compliment.
It's very too early to compare Slot and Klopp. Because I think Klopp's Liverpool was monster. I think that because they were even winning games with 10 men. Klopp's Liverpool.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So
Loki Savio
uh,
does not like Liverpool.
Yeah, this is one of the things that I pointed out earlier. We have to see how
yeah,
Slot rather deals with adversity. I think that
right.
is going to
So
be the major challenge for him as a manager.
yeah, so it's very early to
Suprio
say.
Savio
But
hates Savio
but
hates
but
Liverpool.
somehow
He has good reasons
no,
too.
I don't.
That's all I can say.
I don't. No, I think you hate Manchester City more. because we lost two EPLs for 1 point. So I understand. But the thing is that I think like the way
Shit, we have
slot
conceded
Goal
one.
actually. Oh my God,
1-1.
who scored?
Ah,
Ait Nuri.
it was a Wolves player.
Ait
I
Nuri.
have to see whom,
Ait
but
Nuri. Ait Nuri.
Okay.
but now let's see. Now is Lot's challenge. I think it was Ayat Nouri.
Yep.
Now is
Ait
Lot's
Nuri.
But
challenge. Let's see how Liverpool
but
respond
I,
to that goal.
but I think don't take it in a wrong way. Okay. But I think uh, the way Liverpool started this season, I think it's like the Tottenham started their last season with the new manager. They
I
were
don't
flying.
think so. I don't think so. If you
So
look at our defensive numbers as well, Tottenham were always full throttle attacking football.
But
Their
they were
But
defensive
conceding
last
I
goals
think
season,
also.
but this season
I,
I
their
don't
I
think so.
defensive
think
This
numbers
season
weren't great.
I think what
yeah,
Savio is
because they
trying to
don't
say
have
is the new manager factor. Because even like with Ange, it took a little bit of time for every other club to figure out his style and sort of.
right.
Yeah, that's true.
So
No, I
maybe
think except for pressing, slot hasn't changed much tactical from Klopp. That's on
No,
the
no,
Yeah.
he
same
has. He
formation.
has. Our attacking game has completely transformed. Our high. We don't play a high line. I mean, we. I would still say we play a high line, but then it's not as high as how we were playing under Klopp. Okay. We have
But they
become
still
more
play as the same
pragmatic.
formation. There is no
Yeah,
formation change, I
formation can be
guess.
the same, but the roles of the players have also changed. If you see Luis Diaz this season, he is on a roll, right? And one of the reasons being is that he's being made to do what he does. He likes to dribble at players, he likes to come inside, he likes to cross the ball, and that's what he's doing. And he's taking a lot of shots. Luis Diaz, who's not scored many goals over last 2 seasons, if you see his record at Porto, he had like 25 to 26 goals in that league. So I agree that Premier League is of a higher level, but then the drop was not something that I could accept, and now we know the reason, because he was probably not that focused on his attacking game. He was made to do defensive work, you know, uh, do other stuff, but definitely Luis Diaz right now is being asked to play to his strengths. So yeah, so that
Has
is
Liverpool
probably
got a penalty?
Yeah, Pool got a penalty. It's a jersey pool, I guess, from Nelson Semen.
oops,
Why?
I missed that again.
It's a jersey
Oh,
I missed that again.
inside the box.
Oh wow, that's a penalty. That's a clear penalty.
he
So
didn't
it's
do
a
anything.
Salah.
Why
No,
is
no,
the
no, no.
penalty?
It's a
Oh
penalty.
yes, yes. Now I'm watching the
So
replay. Hmm.
it's so for all of you in the FPL who's got Salah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got Salah. I got Salah captain.
I got Salah.
Oh,
Vice captain.
fantastic, fantastic.
I
I
got
sold
Salah.
him for
I got
Saka, but
Luis.
Till
so
till last match, I had Cole Palmer as a captain. Just for this weekend, I changed it to Haaland, and Cole Palmer today scored 4 goals.
fuck. Yeah.
Newcastle all the way.
Okay, guys, let's move on.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, you
Uh,
guys please carry on. I have to drop off now. So I will meet you guys next week again.
Do we have?
So
yep,
thank
Yeah,
you
yep.
we have
for
a
welcoming me.
menu to cover. We have a menu to
I
cover.
think
we can
I
not
think
talk about
Savio, I
Manchester
just
United.
request you to stay on for a little bit more because
Okay.
we have only Man United to cover, and that's it.
We can do
Okay.
it next
Yeah.
week after Spurs beat us.
No,
Like,
no, no. We want to talk
Salah,
about
Salah,
United,
Salah
please,
scored.
please.
Salah
I
scored.
mean, Salah scored.
I got
Oh,
the
Salah
FPL point.
scores.
I got
Wow.
the FPL point.
see, that's what happens when
Okay.
you want to talk about United. Salah scores. Can we not talk about United?
No,
So
we have to. We have to.
just tell us about your prediction about Spurs versus Man U tomorrow.
We are going to lose the match. I don't know by how many goals or uh, like what kind of situation, but we are not winning that match.
I don't think you're
So
gonna lose that much. I think you will either win or you will get a draw
I think
because
United are going to
because
win this
Spurs
game.
Yeah. Maximum maximum probabilities United are gonna win because Spurs are shit.
They're shit at the back. They're
I thought
they're
you were
Yes.
going to say.
absolutely shit at the back. And I think as much as I have seen, I think United's defense has become slightly better after
Yeah,
Delete has
Mazraoui,
joined. So yeah, Mazraoui
Delight and
and
Mazraoui,
Delete.
both.
Yeah. So so
Also, Dalot is
they
playing
have
good.
improved
Dalot is
slightly.
playing good. So tell
And
me,
the fact that Ten Hag always plays a more pragmatic game than Postecoglou, I expect them to get a result.
no, I mean
Yeah, but
tell me,
Bruno to get a result. Bruno needs to step up. I believe he has
Or
been
step
missing
down.
for.
He needs to be benched for a while.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have
sir,
Mason
sir,
Mount,
tell
so
us, sir,
yeah.
tell us one thing that for
Why
last
did
two
Ten
or
Hag
three seasons.
buy Mason Mount? Right?
Guys,
Is that
can we
what you
answer
want?
No,
this
no, no,
question that we
no,
have
no,
on
no,
the
no, no,
screen?
no, no.
How much
Yeah.
time?
That's a different. That's a
Yes.
different question
It's
I
just
have.
go for
So
the question.
every season when you start the season and you had this thing that Ten Hag is not. I mean, we don't know what happening with Manu. We don't know what's happening with board. We don't know what happening with manager.
Yeah.
Then suddenly he wins a FA Cup or a Carabao Cup, and you keep him for the next season, and again for the next season you tell the same thing. Why?
Say what?
And you have a new board. You have a new board right now,
Yeah.
Alex.
So
Cliff.
the first decision of the board was to keep Ten Hag, and let's all like realize how they decided to keep Ten Hag. So he was in his final year of the contract. They have extended his contract for just 1 year. I've never seen that happen, by the way. Like that doesn't matter. Doesn't happen. So, and they also got Ruud van Nistelrooy. So Ruud van Nistelrooy is important in this situation because he was once the manager of PSV, so he has experience as a manager, as the head coach, right? And he is operating as the head coach. So I think the plan for the new owners, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and other folks over there, is basically okay. He cannot fire the manager because he really won the FA Cup, and because that's going to be an unpopular decision by a new owner, right? And they don't want to do it, right? So what they do is they extend his contract for just 1 year. They get Van Nistelrooy, so in case if Eric Ten Hag manages to lose his job this season, he's going to take over as interim or whatever. So it's more like damage control. I think that just goes to show that we have new owners who are actually thinking about the pros and cons and what can happen, what are the consequences that can happen, unlike the Glazers who would just hire or fire people randomly. So I think like from that point of view, I am very hopeful. Like whether with Ten Hag or without Ten Hag, there is a governing body that is actually evaluating and processing what's happening and planning for the future. So um, does that answer your question?
So how much time will Ten Hag get?
I think I'll give him till December. I don't want Ten Hag out. I love the guy. I mean, I love the guy from a point of view of
Whoa.
he's the manager, and I'll always back him. Uh, but with some of the decisions that he's making right now, you can see that he's not completely changed from last season. It's the same mistake again and again. If you look at the substitutes, playing Bruno Fernandes for 90 minutes for every game. Why did he buy Mason Mount? Right? He was obsessed with him in the last transfer window, and he really wanted him. Now that he has him, he's not using him. So there are certain questions like these that he needs to find answers of, and I also think he needs to be a little brave about dropping Rashford and Bruno Fernandes at times when the the team needs to play in a different style, right? Because if you look at Bruno Fernandes and Rashford, they are, I think, really good when you play counter-attack football. And I don't think anybody likes counter-attack football anymore. And the type of football style that they are trying to implement is not counter-attack for sure. I mean, although we've not been able to implement it completely,
There is no style. There is no style
there
whatsoever.
is style. There is style.
There is nothing. There is
There is.
nothing that I've seen in United's football over the past 2.5 years.
When was the last time you watched 90 minutes United game after the Liverpool match? Got your answer. Okay, so that's what I was saying.
I tend to watch games, but again, let
Yeah,
me
I
tell you
mean,
this:
like watching a
even if you
4 minute
watch,
YouTube highlight is not the same. Okay, I
No,
think
if you
everybody
watch,
knows.
if you even if you watch 30 minutes of any game, that's enough to understand patterns of football.
Not really, not
I think
really.
most of us guys will
Manchester
will back
United.
me up with that.
No, they won't. I mean, you need to watch the full match because with
No, I
United,
don't think so.
I
No,
don't
I guess
remember.
football.
I don't remember the last time United controlled a full game. I mean, that Crystal Palace game was okay till the 70th minute, but if you tuned into your television after the 70th minute, you'll just feel like, oh, it's a 50-50 game. But before the 70th minute, United had the ball. They had really good possession. They were passing the ball really well, and also like from a pressing point of view, they were doing really well. But after the 70th minute, Kobe Mainoo ran out of fuel. He had to get substituted. Ugarte came. They just lost that energy, that flame, and the last 20 minutes of that game was almost like 50-50. Anybody could have scored and won the match. So that's what I'm trying to say. With United, you need to watch 90 minutes because I don't think we are at a stage where we control a game for 90 minutes. So it's always like the first 30 or 45 minutes or 70th minute. I don't think I have like I watch United games like for till the final whistle, right? I've never seen Manchester United, like when I say never, I mean like let's say in the last 20 games. I've not seen them dominate the whole game, and they don't do that. So yeah, there are patterns of play, but can you say that there's a direct style of play for 90 minutes? Absolutely not. But there
No,
are
Yeah,
instances where you can say that
no,
there is something that they are working on, and of course, it's going to take time. You can't do anything
I mean, that
about
is the
that.
thing
it'll
that
take time. You had
I don't
this guy
understand
has had
Ten
two and
Hag.
a half years. Sorry, Savia, you were saying
Yeah, that
something.
is the thing. Yeah, that is the thing that I did not. I don't get Ten Hag. Okay, the thing is that as a rival fan, I want them to give Ten Hag a lifetime contract. That's a different thing. But the
Sure.
guy now has
Me as well.
his defender. The guy now has his midfielder. The guy now has the striker that he wanted. The guy now has the goalkeeper that he wanted. And the last day in the press conference, he said, "We are still the work under progress." So I don't understand. I literally
Yeah,
don't understand Dana.
because Manchester
Why
United
he,
wants to no, because Manchester United wants to win the Premier League trophy by 2028, and the CEO himself has said that
Yeah.
it's a work in progress
So
till
I think it's the
then
2028.
same.
then
It's
then this
the
question
same.
means nothing, right? This question nothing for the Manchester
No,
United fans.
but
Nothing.
the
No,
Yeah.
only sign
but
of
what I no, no,
positivity.
what sorry to cut you, Shubhra, but just one point I want to make. But what I think United is trying to do, give Ten Hag a 1 year contract extension and let your the head coach who was the head coach
Ruud van
This
Nistelrooy.
Crystal Van
yeah
Nistelrooy,
Van Nistelrooy to learn and grow under Ten Hag somehow, and then have him appoint as the manager for like a full time manager. I think that is
and
a
if you want to
good plan.
learn from Klopp, learn from Pep, why you want to learn from Ten Hag?
No, no, not learn fully
No,
from
no.
Ten Hag, but
Yeah.
just to get
Not
a
like proper school,
gist of
but
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
just to like they are working on like they have I think from a transfer market point of view, I don't know what you guys think, but I think Manchester United bought good players and we were
Yes.
able to sell players after a long, long time.
Mm.
We are not good at selling players. I still can't believe we've sold Scott McTominay. So I think
Scott McTominay has
that
been brilliant for Napoli. I was just seeing
who
some of
cares?
the
He's a clutch player. He's a clutch player.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
he
yeah.
What
comes, he scores.
Yeah, sure. For Naples, it's fine. I don't want him to like come to Old Trafford to score. Anyways, I mean
But
he's
yeah,
not a
guys,
player,
I
so
think
let's
this. Sorry, sorry, I had one more thing to say, just to add on to what
sure.
Shanik mentioned about United, and you were also saying as well. I think the reason why United are doing so well in the transfer market also has to do with Ineos. Okay, Ineos.
Of course.
I am doing my MBA classes right now, and we are being made to study this case study on Ineos. Can you believe it? About how they managed Ineos Grenadiers, who were a cycling team. Okay,
Right.
and they actually did an exceptional job. They know how to run a sporting team, and not just in cycling. They have also invested. If you see, they have invested in Rennes, and now Rennes is in the top four of League One.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So the only reason I would say for United fans to be positive is because Ineos is here. Ineos has bought a certain amount of stakes at the club, and they are right now in complete authority of their footballing decisions. I think that's probably a very vital point that I wanted to make, because I think United can actually build on this. Even look at their move of signing Ruud van Nistelrooy. They already have a backup manager who knows the how the club runs, and they also have someone who knows the current issues with their football. I think that's an excellent move at the end of the day. So I think although United are not doing well right now, but there are signs that they will do well in the coming years for sure.
Yeah,
But I don't
absolutely,
think
and that's why.
I
But
don't think Ten Hag is the
that
answer to that.
that with
Yeah,
Ten
probably
Hag,
not. Probably
sure.
not. I
That
agree with you on that.
not sure.
Yeah, it
There
might be
are
So what
somebody
is the
else.
answer
better
of
It
that
might
managers
question?
be
available.
Like,
it might be Van Nistelrooy. It can be somebody else as well. I think there was
Thomas
this.
Thomas Tuchel is available, by the way.
Okay, like no chance. There
You
was a
don't like
report that
Tuchel, is it?
I no, I don't like him. I don't think he's an answer to what we need. I mean, look, we've had the David Moises, we have had the Louis Van Gaals, the Mourinho. So I'm not looking at these managers as individual. I'm looking at their style and their personality. I don't think we need a Thomas Tuchel right now because I think he's very aggressive in ways of what he wants to do, and he's a good manager. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think United needs a manager like that right now because, like Bong Scouser said, the control needs to be with Ineos. They are a company that knows how to run a sporting club or sporting franchise. And again, like these things are not radical, right? It takes time, and that's why they've come out and said 2028 because that's what they're targeting. They also want to build a new stadium around that as well. So it's in the process. And look, the thing about Manchester United is, as a Manchester United fan, I can tell you, although it's been a really rough 10 years, United will always be a sleeping giant. We just need to tap the right uh, areas and get it up and working and doing what they do. Once we have a I'm not very displeased with our squad right now. I think the squad is pretty good. Yes, we need to find out a way to play that is sustainable, and we need to find solutions to some of our players that I truly believe do not fit our style, like Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford. I think they are really good at something, but really bad at the other stuff. If we want to be, if we have to play possession style football, how can you expect Bruno Fernandes to be holding the ball? He's very reckless. He's always trying to play the Hollywood ball. He is not the type of like creative midfielder that is going to hold the ball. Christian Eriksen is better, but again, like Eriksen has his own issues. He's almost in his twilight years of his footballing career, and he's probably got a season left if he decides to stay with us in the next season. So there are certain holes there that we need to figure out. But all in all, like when it comes to Ten Hag, I will always back the manager because I think he needs that time. I do understand when you say that he's got his goalkeeper, he's got his Ajax players or Dutch players or whatever, and that is completely justifiable. But I also know that being a United manager is really difficult because it comes with a lot of baggage, and one of the main baggages are, all the players from the previous manager, right? He inherited Jadon Sancho, he inherited Cristiano Ronaldo, he had inherited Harry Maguire. So these were players that we thought would not be good for Manchester United as fans as well, but he had to deal with them, and this takes time, right? You can't do it. Having said that, he has a lot of issues. I want him to be ballsy, drop players, drop Rashford and Bruno when you think they are not doing anything on the field. Have that courage, bring out players, have a plan B sometimes because the Premier League is super competitive, and with the new format of the Champions League and the Europa, every club is playing more games, which means you are susceptible to more injuries, like every club, right? So you need to rotate, you need to have a plan B going on, because otherwise, if he keeps making the same mistakes that he made last season, he will be digging his own grave and he'll be gone by Christmas. So that's my opinion.
So FYI, Sancho got three assists for the last three matches.
Thanks,
So
man.
He's playing
Thank you.
brilliantly.
Yeah,
He's been
best
brilliant.
player in the Premier League, right?
And I
Doesn't
think
have to be the best
once
player as long as he's doing a job at Chelsea.
at
Great.
uh,
Look, I am the happiest.
once
Like Scott McTominay is scoring in Naples. Sancho is scoring in London. Like I'm so happy as United fan because they were in my club. But yeah, as long as they don't score against United, I think I'm good with that.
I think Sancho will look forward to it
I
once.
think he's on
I
a
think
loan, so
Sancho
he's
is
not
not
allowed
allowed
to
to
play.
play versus United because he's on
Oh,
loan.
is it a loan or
Yeah,
permanent
it's
move?
a loan with an
Loan.
It's a
option
loan
to
with
buy.
an
Oh,
obligation,
then it's
not
a clever
option, by the
move
way.
that once.
Yeah, obligation, I
Oh,
should say. Yeah.
Yeah, and the money is very low, like 25, 26 million.
Ineos.
25 million. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? But I guess
It's
United
crazy.
had their hands tied when they were doing the business because Sancho wanted to leave, and there's not much that they could have done about it. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Right.
guys, so it's time to close the show.
Great show. Great show. Thank you
Great
everyone
show.
for being here. Lovely to
Thank you.
meet Savio and Sharnik. Hopefully, you guys are going to be a regular. We'll definitely discuss that. But yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for coming in. Share this video with your friends, and yeah, we'll continue the chat in our WhatsApp group and all that. Like, share, and
Oh,
comment.
yeah.
Item Mag is suggesting.
that was
Uh,
my trademark always. So
Great.
Yeah.
subscribe our channel.
Great to be back,
And
guys.
great to be
Yes,
back.
it's
You
great
guys
to be
have
back.
a good weekend. It's what like Saturday night, right? So have a good Sunday,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we'll speak to
And
you soon.
wish you all the best for tomorrow's
For
match against
Spurs,
Spurs.
we don't need luck, man. Luck for losers, but we're gonna lose anyways. But anyways, see you guys. Take care. Have
See
a
you.
good
Bye.
night, and we'll see you guys.
See you. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.